Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to get started in about one more minute. Just give folks another minute or so to be able to join by audio. Okay, well, let's get started. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. My name is Courtney Adams. I am the district's Family and Community Engagement Coordinator, and I serve as the liaison for the District Advisory Committee. If you are here, you probably know that this is our last official meeting of the school year, so I want to thank everyone for your participation, your attendance, and your continued support. This has been, as we know, a year like no other, so we appreciate you for staying engaged and getting creative with the ways that we stay engaged. So before we get started, I will make the announcement that I make at the beginning of every meeting to ensure that our families who would like to hear this meeting in Spanish are able to do so. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Camila Alvarez to explain how to listen in Spanish. And there's a bit of a delay on my slides. There we go.
Buenas tardes, muchas gracias por estar con nosotros hoy. Solamente le quiero decir que si usted está en esta reunión usando la aplicación de Zoom o está en su celular, tiene interpretaciones en español. Si puede oprimir clic en la parte de abajo de su pantalla, hay un lugar donde dice Interpretations o interpretación, y ahí puede hacer clic en español, y de ahí puede escuchar toda la reunión en español. Hay una persona que está haciendo toda la reunión completamente en español. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. And I would like to remind everyone that will be speaking or facilitating tonight that we are having simultaneous interpretation in Spanish. So please speak slowly so that our interpreter has enough time to, and if you can mute your lines, that would be fantastic, so that our interpreter has enough time to interpret for those listening in Spanish. Also, I'll take a few seconds in between slides so that she is able to finish communicating what's on the slides. And now I'll turn it over to our District Advisory Committee Chair, Mr. DeMonte Rochester, to share a little bit about the agenda and to get us started. DeMonte.
Good evening and welcome to our last meeting of the year. As Courtney just said, this has been a challenging year for everyone, so we're glad that you are joining us tonight for our last meeting of the year. I hope that you get something out of this meeting tonight to carry you through the summer. I hope that we can join you again in person, hopefully in the new year. Welcome again. I hope you get something out of tonight. Now we have remarks by Dr. Berdell.
All right, well, thank you. Hello to all of our parents, faculty and staff members who are on tonight. Mr. Rochester, to say that it's been a very tough and trying year is an understatement. I think everybody that's on this call tonight would agree that we've really had to navigate through unprecedented times, and we're still in the process of having to navigate uncharted territories, especially as the school district has worked to reopen. And I'm excited. I'll be glad when we're able to come back together and have these in-person meetings. I know I have another event tonight that I'll be heading out to in a few minutes, and it's actually in person. So I know that people are gradually moving back to doing things in person. So I look forward to seeing everybody together here in the very near future. So I know there's a couple of important updates that I needed to share with you all. First and foremost, let's get right into the mask mandate. As you all know, we have significant issues with I'm sorry, I had to stop by home to do this meeting. Come on, man. And we got kids in and out of the doors, so they throwing me off. But the mask mandate, the situation where some school districts have already stated that they're going to fall in line with the city of Kansas City mandates to kind of relax that mandate. We're going to put a notification out to all of our parents and community tomorrow morning that KCPS will continue to operate with requiring masks in our schools. And we will do that for the remainder of this year. We will wait until probably next week, sometime or the following week, to receive some additional updates from the CDC around what does this mean for the summer school experience. But I do want all of you to know, I'm not comfortable telling students that they are not allowed to wear masks when we are working to get students vaccinated. So we're working hard now with our 12-year-old students and up to start getting those students vaccinated. And once I feel that we have hit that 75 to 80% mark of parents that have agreed that their kids can receive the vaccination, I think we can begin to maybe let our guards down a little bit. You saw on the news last night that we are already in a situation where we've had to shut down Trailwoods because of a number of cases that have occurred over there. And many of those cases, all of them from our contract tracing occurred outside of the school. But we will follow the procedures that we have in place. When we were over 5%, that put us in a position where we had to shut the school down to ensure that we don't have any additional spread of the virus. And then we have a couple of classrooms where we have had to shut down classrooms and go into a hybrid model. We expect these things to happen. We knew going into this that it wasn't, that we weren't going to be immune and exempt to some of the things that other districts have faced. But our ultimate goal is to open up fully in August. As you know, we have some of our high schools that we do not have the ability to have them in 100% because of spacing concerns. But the district will be working over the summer to make sure that come August 23rd, everybody will be in full. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that. As far as summer school, we have about 3,800 students that have signed up already for summer school. Our deadline is May 24th. And we will have to stop accepting applications at that point because we need to staff summer school. We need to make sure that we can still adhere to the proper safety guidelines. So we're not going to be in a situation where we can receive hundreds or thousands of summer school applications after that date. The last 2 days, we have had a significant increase in the amount of families that have signed up for summer school. So we're hoping to be able to do that. We would love to be able to service about 7,000 students or so during this summer. That is our target. I am excited to report to you all that iReady, we just did our end of year iReady assessment. 90.5% of our students participated in that in grades 3 through 8. Those files will be submitted to the State Department of Education for further review. And it's also something that is will be considered as a part of our accreditation journey, in addition to the MAP assessments that schools are starting to take. Lastly, I will say that commencement is June 3rd and 4th, and we're going to knock those out in 2 days at the Chiefs Stadium. We're really excited about that. And that, we are going to continuously ask people to continue to operate with a level of grace. We plan to do the same for our students. We know that it's been a struggle for a number of our students this year. And so we are working through the summer to make sure that, in particular, kids that are in any of our signature programs that may be in jeopardy of not meeting their qualifications, that they also have the summer months to work through doing what they need to do to demonstrate that we need to keep them in those particular programs. So we're going to continue to operate with a high level of grace as we work with our students and families. And I just ask you all to continue to do so. You guys, as parents, have been fabulous in helping to support the district and the decisions that we've made. And I couldn't be any prouder to be here leading us through this journey together. But thank you for your grace. And Ms. Adams, Ms. Alvarez, that concludes my remarks, unless there are some questions.
Dr. Berdell, I have a quick question for you. We have some reporters that you might see joining on the call and wanted to facilitate one of their questions for them. So to the parents who might have concerns about these rising cases in the district due to the quarantines, do you have any advice, guidance, words of wisdom for our parents right now?
I think the big thing that I can share with our parents is that the district has exceptional mitigation efforts and a process and a procedure in place. Every parent that may have been impacted by this, they receive timely communication. We can tell you that we are not seeing spread take place in our schools, right? That has been continuous research has supported that. These cases take place outside of schools. And that is the reason why it's important that we all encourage people in our community and our students and parents of students to encourage that we get the vaccination. The more people that are vaccinated, the least likely of a chance we will have of continuous spread of this virus. While the numbers have declined, we still find ourselves inside of our boundaries or inside of the KCMO region at 16%. And so we know that we have work to do because we really want to get that down to where it's very minimal, that it doesn't require us to have to be in a situation where we're having to close down schools because we have over 5% in a particular school. Once again, the spread is happening in the community. Many of our schools are offering testing. So the district is working with many of our medical partners to offer testing for kids 12 and up. So let's take advantage of that. And if everybody do their part, we can be in a situation where one day we don't have to worry about a mask mandate. I get tired of wearing the mask myself. It's hard breathing in those masks, going up 2 flights of floors with a very busy schedule like I have. But if that's what's going to allow for us to be able to come to work on a daily basis, I'd rather keep my mask on than to find ourselves having to shut down central office or schools because we're letting our guards down too early. But I can tell our parents, our systems are great, they work, and we're doing this to make sure that we're protecting not only you, but your child when we have to put ourselves in a position, when we're put in a position where we have to go into a quarantine mode. But we will get these kids back in school as soon as, that period ends. I believe 10 days, I know it's 10 to 14. And as we get more information from the CDC, of hopefully being able to reduce that amount of time away, we will move to that format.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Berdell. Are there any other questions?
I saw someone.
Ms. Lyle.
Someone in here, our school is offering testing. Is that at all schools? Ms. Waitru, can we make sure in the communication tomorrow we put out that we let them know specifically what schools is generally going to be in most of our secondary schools, because those tend to be your middle school kids and up that are eligible for the vaccine. So we are more than likely that is definitely at our secondary schools, but we can make sure we include that in the communication tomorrow.
And for example, good point, Dr. Berdell, we are starting to offer vaccine clinics at our sporting events. So any athletic activity that you might be attending at the middle school or high school level, we will start offering those vaccines for our students 12 plus.
Thank you. Are there any more questions? Okay, if there's nothing else, if you do have a question, please feel free to put it in the chat and we will make sure to get your question answered while we're still on. Next, I didn't see her name in the participant list, but if board member Tanisha Ford is on, we wanted to give her an opportunity to introduce herself to the deck. Ms. Ford, are you on? Okay, I don't think she is, but if you are and we missed you, we will circle back to you. Next, we're going to go to Mr. Bradley Lopez from Moore Squared.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gary Enrique Bradley Lopez. I am a community organizer for Moore Squared. I want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. I'm going to try to slow down because I know that there is translation, so I'll try not to speak as fast as I usually do. But first of all, I'm here because I'm a community organizer for Moore Squared, and I organize around two areas. I organize around health, and I organize around education. And so education is something that's always been powerful, something that's always been a passion of mine. I know that as a kid, I was a kid that was in special education, and I was told that if I ever go to college, someone would need to take notes for me. And I'm just proud to announce that last week I graduated with my master's and no one took notes for me. I took notes for them. And so I think that if every level, if there's a whole bunch of Garys out there and they get the same support that I got, whether it was through my education, through my parents, through the community, then they could make it as far as I could. Shout out to Crystal Ever, who's also here. I was in 2020 leadership, and so she's part of that path to power and how I ended up in the position that I am today. And there's also a lot of people here that I see, some that I've met, some that I want to meet. But anyways, just to give you all a reason about why I'm here, education is what I organize around. Moore Squared was created back in 2004, and it was created as a social justice organization, basically focused on organizing congregations to fight racism and make a more equitable Kansas City. And so throughout that, they have been organizing all types of congregations, multiracial congregations, multi-faith congregations, and we're a multi-faith organization that organizes all those multiple congregations to fight around against those issues. And so one of the education issues that the Moore Squared group has been fighting for the past couple of years is banning suspensions. Banning suspensions for students predominantly pre-K through fifth, pre-K through third, specifically because we understand the challenges of what it looks like for Black and brown boys to get suspended more than their white colleagues or their white classmates. And because of that, we recognize that there is that disparity there. I know it because I remember me being one of the kids that got more in trouble than Jack usually did. And because of those problems, we recognize that those are the challenges that really impact our students. And so the Education Task Force has been focused and fighting on these issues for many years. And while we're almost close to a win, I recognize and I looked at that task force and I said, where are the parents at? Because at the end of the day, we can't do that work. I don't have any kids yet. Our task force chairs, their kids are no longer in schools. And the parents are really the people that know what is best for their students. Those parents are the ones that really have that strong opinion on what is the best solution for their student in any type of trouble. And so my goal is to organize more parents. I need parents at the table. I need parents speaking for their students. I need parents there that are able to make decisions that some of us who don't have kids are likely to have a better opinion on. And so we have two meetings. One of our meetings is our Issues to Actions Night meeting for Moore Squared. We meet every second Monday from 6 to 7:30. And at that meeting, we'll break out into our Education Task Force and we'll start focusing on issues. So a couple of the issues that the Education Task Force is working on right now is one, again, the banning suspensions here in your own school district, because we believe that if KCPS does it, then that's going to help a whole other schools get motivated on breaking the pipeline in their own district. And we want that effect. So if we can get the big dogs to do it, I know we can get other people to do it as well. And then we also focus on other things. So Dr. Berdell was just speaking about the accreditation. Last time I spoke to him, this is something that started this conversation, is gathering groups of leaders to go and speak to some of these people that serve on the boards and commissions that decide the accreditation process. And we even did some research and power analysis on there, like looking at members that have been on there for the past 12 years because the governor or someone hasn't changed them from being on that appointment. And so really just looking into that and having these discussions. And then we have our KC Parents Breaking the Pipeline. Now, the KC Parents Breaking the Pipeline, that's the group where we really want to organize those parents to be the leaders in their own areas, whether it's creating their own narrative to tell their own story or tell their child's story, whether it's focusing on statewide issues, focusing on issues that we can speak to our legislators about, or really just, again, banning suspensions. And in the future, we've also recognized that a lot of parents are talking about trauma-informed care. And so that's also an area that we'll start seeking to get more parents involved in talking and having those conversations about. So there's various areas that we want parents to get involved because, again, we can't do that by ourselves. And the KC Parents Breaking the Pipeline meeting, that is every second Thursday of the month. And so I'll drop both of those links, one for the Issues to Action Night meeting, and then the second one for our KC Breaking the Pipeline meeting. And so we're definitely all about making sure that impacted people are at the table, are speaking for themselves. As a Black-skinned person, Black and brown, I have the privilege of being in both areas and recognizing that there's two groups, right? There's Black and brown students that are struggling in our districts. And I happen to be one of those students that happen to be both. So either way, I was going to have some trouble regardless. But it is that system in our education that is where we need to challenge it. And I strongly believe that it's our parents that can do that. And so whether we believe that it's issues that are happening now, we know that there's going to be issues that happen in the future in our education, because breaking the pipeline doesn't just stop at banning suspensions and having trauma-informed care. There's various areas into that. So there's various things that we can continue talking about. And so again, I would love to have parents. I would love to have you all. I would love to have as many connections. And the KC Parents Breaking the Pipeline, that group is not just KCPS parents. We want parents from all districts in the metro. We want parents, whether they're from charter schools, private schools, or public schools, because at the end of the day, I want to break the pipeline for every Black and brown baby across the metro, whether it's public schools or not. And so I know that you all as parents have that self-interest and that your kids also do that. And I know that you all could be as powerful in leading in those areas as well, and making sure that it doesn't happen across the metro. And so again, thank you all for allowing me to speak. Any connections that you all have for me, I'll drop my email, I'll drop my phone number in there. Feel free to connect me. And if there's any Spanish-speaking parents, a ustedes los estoy buscando. Ocupamos más padres que hablan español porque ocupamos que ustedes están en la justicia de nuestros estudiantes. I just wanted to show that off. But again, thank you so much for allowing me, and congratulations on the year, and congratulations for fighting through such a tough year. Shout out to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bradley Lopez. Now we are going to turn it over to Ms. Everett to share some information about our students' summer opportunities.
For sure. I'm having a proud auntie moment because I had Gary when he was a senior in high school. And so if this is what, it feels like to have your children just do you proud, then, I'm here for it. So I'm Crystal Everett. I serve as the Real World Learning Coordinator for KCPS. And I am just here to talk about a few real world learning, career and technical education opportunities for our students. I see some of our team members are also talking about summer school, but I definitely want to put in a plug specifically for our CTE programs. So with real world learning, we're definitely trying to make sure that we provide market value assets for students. And a lot of times that comes in terms of internship opportunities. So there are two distinct internship opportunities available for students this summer. So with Higher KC, there are opportunities for students to get paid, actually Entrepreneurship KC as well. I had a chance to talk to students at Paseo last week about what they understand about internships. And their first thing was, oh, it's something you don't get paid for. But we definitely want to try to shift that narrative and help our students understand that their talents and efforts are worth being compensated. So Higher KC is looking for students who are at least 16. And so a number of different city government related opportunities. And so the deadline for both of these to apply is May 31st. And there's definitely a specific push to have students in KCPS a part of these opportunities. Both of these internships, the students will earn academic credit for them. And with the Entrepreneurship KC, I guess it got cut off a little bit at the top with the logo. And so this one, the pretty cool part about it is that it's also open to rising ninth graders. So students who are going to be in 9th through 12th grade for the next school year are open to this opportunity. Students are paid $600 for their time for that 5 weeks, $500 of that being a stipend to the students, and then $100 in a high yield savings account with Community America. One of the big focal points of this opportunity is really encouraging students to understand financial literacy and planning. So being able to provide them with that savings account that helps them think about what's to come in the future and not always kind of right now in the present. So students can apply for these internships on the respective websites, so hirekc.org as well as entrepreneurshipkc.org. And both of these opportunities are part of this large city initiative to get at least 500 youth within the city of Kansas City employed for the summer. And really, as we think about these conversations about gun violence and those kind of things, we know that economic opportunities help them with curbing some of that violence that we are witnessing in our city. So I will make sure that I share the links here in the chat as well, and you can go to the next slide, please. So summer school, like I said.
Ms. Everett, can I stop you 1 second? Sorry, I just got a note from the interpreter to ask everybody to slow down just a smidge.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. And so summer school, like I said, I see Dr. Sharp and Mr. Holland here to talk about summer school as well. What we're offering specifically in career and technical education is the Exploring Career Pathways. And so this one is also open to rising 9th through 12th graders. And so we want students to really think about career and technical education and how that can fit into their future schedule once they are juniors and seniors. And so with the Exploring Career Pathways, each week will be a different focal point, 1 week being educator preparation, another week being multimedia, another week being auto technology, culinary arts. I will say the fun fact about being in culinary arts is being able to test out all the food, firsthand experience. You have to let people know what they are consuming. And then also EMT, so emergency medical technician. And again, students will rotate through each of those programs, and they will also earn a practical arts credit for participating in CTE related programming for summer school. We do also have driver's education. And so we have 15 spots available for students to participate in that program. Really excited about what opportunities that means for students being able to get their license and then be able to move forward from there. And then I think there's one more slide. And so, of course, just putting in a plug for all of our career and technical education programs. All of them are open for students who are juniors and seniors in KCPS, as well as those who live within our district boundaries. And so we are recruiting for those programs. I do want to highlight 2 new programs that we are launching for the fall: pharmacy tech, as well as a utility line worker program with Evergy. So being able to help students prepare for career as utility line workers. And we know that it is an in-demand field, and people have the ability to make about 6 figures doing some very kind of dangerous but important work to keep our power on. So the website there, kcpublicsschools.org/school/CTE. Yes, pharmacy tech. We're really excited. This is our first year being able to have that program. And so that one is for students who are going to be seniors for the fall, just because they have to be a certain age in order to be able to take the pharmacy technician certification. But it is a really comprehensive program where students are getting classroom instruction, mostly in the spring semester, in the fall semester. And in the spring semester, they are doing an externship at a pharmacy at a pharmacy. So being able to get that hands-on experience and then be able to sit for that certification. Again, really wanting to make sure that we're giving students those market value asset opportunities that help them as they go towards that next step. So I know a lot of information, but feel free, if there's any questions I can answer, please let me know.
Ms. Kohlmeyer, you have a question?
Sorry, hi, Crystal. I just have a quick question about what is the credit that you said it's a academic credit that you got for the classes, and so I was wondering
for the internship. I believe it's going to be a practical art, but let me confirm and I will let you know.
Awesome, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other questions? If not, thank you, Ms. Everett. And we will move on to talk about summer school. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Holland and Dr. Sharp.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Sharp, and with my partner here, Mr. Holland, we're just going to talk to you a little bit about the summer school we have coming up. We've been working really hard to get a very exciting and different summer school off the ground for our students and families in Kansas City. If you're on with the PowerPoint there, I will not read it to you. I'll just share some highlights, and then Mr. Holland will jump in about halfway through. As we think about summer school this year, we really wanted to have a different environment for students. As we've mentioned here several times already tonight, we know it was a trying year. We wanted to provide something for them that was engaging and academic. And so this year we focused on some project-based service learning projects for our K through 8th grade students. And then as Ms. Everett was just talking about, some exceptional internships available for our high school students. We really wanted to make it real world and fun, and just let students engage in something a little different. We also realized that there was a need for social and emotional supports in this year's summer school. So all of our sites have clinicians available to really just help students get back in the groove of being in school full time. If they're coming to us full time, or we are still offering the KCVA option as well. So there's an in-person and a virtual option. But in all of our home sites, we will have clinicians and social emotional supports for them as well. We've worked really, really hard at our recruitment efforts. Mr. Holland just did a spot on Monday where he promoted us. I believe it was television, news, some type of, he could tell you about that a little bit more.
It was on KPRS, and we recorded it on Monday, and it aired yesterday morning during the Brian and Chase show.
Yay. And then we've really gotten all of our counselors on board. We've looked at those students who maybe missed a good portion of the year due to technology issues when we were virtual, just really had a hard time engaging. Those were our students of focus. And we worked with our counselors and the counseling team to make sure that we outreach to all of those families specifically while opening it up district-wide to make sure we're enrolling as many students as possible. As Dr. Berdell shared, we were projecting about 7,000 students in this year's summer school. Right now, we're at close to 4,000, so we are really getting up there. Some final big push efforts just went out this week, even as we continue to make calls and send marketing and information home to families. We know it's important to get our kids in this summer school, so we're continuing that marketing through this week, and then really hoping to finalize those numbers by Monday so that we can give all of our students and staff the best experience possible. Mr. Holland, do you want to take over from there?
And so with the marketing, as we said yesterday, there has been a concerted plan by our communication staff to make sure that all of our families understand, what is the process for getting into summer school, and making sure it's outlined through our schools, through our secretaries, through the leadership in our individual buildings, so everybody is fully informed on how to get into summer school and what are some of the things that we are looking for that would make someone think, hey, does my child need to have summer school for this summer, whether they're a teacher or whether they're a parent. And so our focus have been on those students who have had less than 70% contact time during the virtual setting. So we know that there was very many difficulties when it came to logging on, or computer issues, or with anything. So we're really focusing on those students. We're also focusing on the students who may have been struggling in reading, one or more grade levels below their reading level or their math levels, or they have experienced not being successful by earning failing grades. Also, our students, we know that we have the Senate Bill 319 that when we have students in elementary school that are reading below a certain grade level, that they have to go to summer school to be promoted. And so those are some things that we're pushing out there so that students and our families know what is something that we need to look at in deciding and going to summer school. But also we want to remind everybody that summer school is for everybody. So there is a time where students really need the remediation, they need extra help, but summer school is also for our students who want those enrichment opportunities. And so as we speak later on about the curriculum that's going to be offered, it is for everybody. And that's the big message that we want to put out there. Summer school is for everybody within our district. And so with that, we're offering some incentives. Kindergarten through 8th grade students who have perfect attendance, with the exception of one day, they can earn $100 for the summer. And new this year, our high school students will be able to earn $100 for completing a credit that is toward their graduation. Is new, but we believe that having that incentive for our secondary or high school students would benefit them and will encourage them to want to come to complete that credit, whether it's CTE or whether it's for attainment or whether it's for recovery. So we're looking at a list of all the sites that we're going to have summer school, and the parentheses have the schools where students will attend. So basically, when you look at this chart, the students at James will attend James Elementary since they're hosting summer school, but they will also host Gladstone and Garfield Elementary. And the same thing with King. Longfellow students will go to King as well as King students. And the list goes on, but when it comes to our students, we want it to be very clear on which schools they will be attending for summer school. We can go to the next slide. These are our secondary sites. So what you saw was the elementary sites. The secondary sites is a little bit more unique because all of our secondary sites will be open with the exception of Passaic and AC Prep. All of our signature schools, Passaic and AC Prep, will attend Lincoln Middle for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And then for high school, our Passaic students will join the Lincoln students. Everyone else will host their own summer schools, which is a benefit to us because our secondary students will have the leaders and the counselors that they have relationships with so that they're able to attain the credit, recover the credit, or they can be led in the right direction when it comes to the CTE offerings. Also, as mentioned earlier, we do have the virtual option through KCVA, and we do have the Boys and Girls Club, which offers programming for our students who select that program as well. When it comes to our bell times, the secondary staff will report from 7:30 to 2:30. And then our student day will only be 6 hours. So at the secondary level, it will be from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And the buses, we will provide buses for the students to arrive short before 8 o'clock, and they will leave shortly after 3 o'clock. For our elementary staff will be available from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And then the student day will be from 9:30 to 3:30, which provides an opportunity for our buses to run both tiers of the transportation for our students. But then it also allows for, with the elementary side, for us to offer link before and after school. And then the 6-hour day also allows the day to move a little bit swifter so that students aren't just staying stagnant throughout the day, especially when we're adding the core components and we're adding the service learning components at the end of the day. So it doesn't feel like your traditional summer school and they're still getting exactly what they need. We also have partnerships with Alvin Ailey. They will be hosting at Passaic, which is a summer dance camp and a summer dance program for our students. The high school students that participate in the Alvin Ailey program will earn a elective credit for the dance class that they have. The Boys and Girls Club will continue their partnership with the district and allowing our students to attend the summer camp. We also have the Lead to Read at 2 of our sites, which is a partnership with this with this organization that will push into our schools and provide extra reading support. Dr. Sharp could explain a little bit more about the details about Lead to Read. And then, of course, we have the link services, which most of us are familiar with, that provides the before school and after school support in our elementary schools. Dr. Sharp, do you want to give a couple of sentences about the Lead to Read program?
Sure. Lead to Read is a community program that send volunteers into our schools during their lunch breaks, during the volunteer lunch breaks, where they come in and do some small group reading with our students. They often play little games, vocabulary games, word building games, and really just give our kids some extra attention and support the reading development throughout the lunch block for our students.
So when it comes to our summer school curriculum, we will have the high level standards, which are basically the foundational skills that our students really need when it comes to their current grade level and advancing to the next grade level. For instance, a high level skill would be in mathematics, if you're familiar with middle school mathematics, integers, making sure students understand positive and negative numbers and how they are how you use them for all four operations. How do you add, subtract, multiply, and divide integers, which leads directly into algebraic skills. Without integers, it's very hard to get through algebra. And so those are some of the examples of some foundational skills that our students really need, that summer school will provide support for. We will have pre and post assessments for our students so that we can track where they came in before summer school and how they are performing after they're done with summer school. Also, we will provide K-8 math, science, social studies, and English language arts, along with PE and our computerized programming with iSpark. And so we're, along with the service learning projects that Dr. Sharp is going to talk about. When it comes through for our 9th through 12th grade education, our students will be provided opportunities to attain and or recover credits through our Odyssey Ware program with the support of certified teachers. And then Ms. Everett already has spoken about the internship opportunities that are being offered for enrichment through CTE.
All right, and so just a little about the service learning and community activism projects at K-8. Each grade level 1 through 8 was given the option of 2 choices. They really focused around building, development of things. So for example, one group is building tree houses and talking about how to plant trees, helping nature, those type of things. And then we have one project that is water pollution based. And so those students will be working to create filters and purify water through different experimentation. We also have several programs that are really focused on leadership, entrepreneurship, how to start your own business. We also have those programs around social justice and public health. So learning about things that are happening currently in our world and what we can do to really make the change for our community and for the area around us. Kindergarten did not get a selection. They are all in one program, Spreading Kindness. And this is just doing different things that really help demonstrate kindness and what we can do to be better to one another. So again, all of our K-8 students will either have an option, or like I said, kindergarten will be in the Spreading Kindness, but we really just wanted to make this fun, exciting, really different for our kids. And so we believe that with these very unique and specialized projects and the partnerships that we are bringing in to support our student learning this summer, we are going to have one of the best that we have had. Ms. Everett has talked quite a bit about the work experiences for students. That is at the high school level. Mr. Holland, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add with those remaining 2 slides, but we just know this is going to be an amazing, amazing summer for our students. So I think I can speak for Mr. Holland and I and the team that we have been working with. It is going to be lots of fun this year. And learning. Lots of fun and learning.
So you did, Mr. Holland, I didn't know if you were going to continue with the presentation or you were ready to open it up to questions, because I do see you have 2 questions in the chat. So do you want me to go back on any slides, or do you want to answer questions?
We can go ahead and answer questions. I don't want to rehash anything that Crystal Everett has already spoken about when it comes to CTE. The last two slides were just the same opportunities that Crystal was talking about when it came to manual and the programming that is being offered down there.
Okay, so I can read your questions from the chat unless the Ms. Kohlmeyer or Ms. Buckner wants to hop off mute and ask. But Ms. Kohlmeyer asked, she was under the impression that summer school classes for high school were online through Odysseyware. Is that incorrect? Will the classes be in person instead?
So
and then if it's not online and somebody wants to do online, can they do KCPA?
So very, very good question. And this is one of the things that we've really been focusing on to make sure that our high school students have a flexible opportunity for obtaining or recovering credits. And so with the CTE offerings, those are in person unless they're designated as a virtual option. And so I believe one of the internships is virtual through CTE, but all of those are going to be in person. When it comes to a high schooler, and so let's say I am a 10th grader who is looking to take personal finance, and I'm going to Central High School. And so I will go to Central High School and I will be assigned my computer and I will have my orientation regarding Odysseyware, and I will be introduced to the teacher of record, who is the certified teacher that is there to support our students. And so when I'm there, I will go through the whole process and have my orientation. At this time, our families are encouraged to continue to send our students to the school while working on the Odysseyware platform. What that does is it frees up our staff to have the flexibility to provide that in-depth support for the students. And we've seen when we did this 2 years ago, when we were in person, we had an increased amount of students who were able to earn credit. Now, if let's say, I'll go there for 2 weeks, then my family would like to go on vacation for a week. Because it's on Odysseyware and it's virtual, I can still access it while I'm on vacation. So I'm not missing a beat. And I can still finish my work on time. And that's where the flexibility option comes in, with allowing Odysseyware to be the platform that we use the curriculum so students can earn credit. And so it is technically a virtual program. However, we are encouraging all of our students to come to the building and get that certified teacher support. They can come in. We're providing transportation. We are providing breakfast. We are providing wraparound services when it comes to our attendance specialists and clinicians, or anybody that's in our building that can provide support for our students, even job support if they have a summer job or would like to have a summer job. And then they will have lunch and they will have transportation home. And so that's the unique feature about our high school. And we're excited about the fact that the flexibility is going to allow our students the options to have the curriculum, still be able to work, and still get the much needed support to get their credits.
Thank you. And Ms. Kohlmeyer, did that answer your questions?
Yeah, just thank you very much. Our family loves the Odysseyware software because of the flexibility and the time management that it kind of provides. So it's really great news. Thank you very much.
And please, this summer, high school students who enroll, please utilize the certified teachers that are there to support. And so, when a student is struggling with something, our teachers will be available by phone, by email, and especially in person. So please, 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 that is something that we're really pushing for our students. Come and get the support of our certified professionals to get you through the curriculum and prepare you for what's next in your academic lives.
Thank you. You had another question or two from Ms. Buckner. She said, this sounds great. How are the themes determined and are the outcomes in alignment with standards?
Yeah, so I can answer that one from the K-8 side. We worked very, very closely with curriculum to make sure that the programs we selected align to our standards. So students are still getting that academic content through this enrichment opportunity. It was a very fun process as we worked with curriculum because we were all kind of science minded and really excited about the programmings that we're offering when it comes to like the reduce, reuse, recycle and the building birdhouses and the kindness. And then just knowing how outspoken and how excited our students get when they're debating topics, even if they don't know they're always debating. You know, they have so much energy and so much life. So as we were talking about how and what would make our kids really thrive this summer, these were how the topics were decided on. And looking at the standards and things we wanted to be covered, they were just a real natural fit. And then tripling that, or, you know, getting that trifecta of the exceptional partnerships that we have created for this summer, it really it all came together. So.
Thank you, Dr. Sharp. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. As far as the secondary sites, when it came to adding the internships, the CTE department with Crystal Everett and her team there did an excellent job of taking the challenge from Dr. Berdell, because it was a challenge to find these type of programs for our secondary students. Our high school students, especially since it hasn't been done before at the scale that we're trying to do it this year. So the driver's ed, which I can't remember, I went through KCPS and we did not offer driver's ed when I was a student at Purcell. And so putting that out there to pilot it, and with the other programs, the challenge, I believe that team, and along with the rest of the district leadership, they met the challenge, and, you know, hey, we're going to go out here and we're going to make something special for our students, even though we're coming off a pandemic, even though that a lot of people are saying that, you know, we should slow down. We're going to push the envelope to make sure that our students have these innovative programs so they can have the exposure to it.
Thank you, Mr. Holland, and thank you, Dr. Sharp. I will, if you have more questions, is there a way you all can put your contact information or whoever the appropriate contact person is so that folks can reach out to get their questions answered? I do need to move us. We have 2 more things on the agenda, and we'd like to try to keep this to an hour. We're going to go a little bit over time. Everybody just bear with me, maybe 5 minutes max. And I want to say for our official DAC delegates that are on, we are having an election once this meeting wraps up. So please just stick around. I see you all here. I'm glad that you're here. And we should just be going over time by about 5 minutes. So bear with us. Bear with me in particular because I'm next, but I will be quick. As quick as I can. I don't want to rush through this piece. And so I will give you all an opportunity to also send me feedback as well that I can incorporate. But as the Family and Community Engagement Coordinator, I am responsible for meeting some of our state and federal requirements. One of those is our district Title I Parent and Family Involvement and Engagement Plan. And so we last revised that plan. We revise that plan every year and send the updated plan to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Last year, it was on the agenda for the last DAC meeting, and that got canceled due to COVID. And so we just kind of went with the plan from 2019 to be implemented in 2020 as well. But I wanted to let you all know that the format is changing and the requirements are changing for that Title I plan. And so you can view, it's pretty similar to the old plan. It really just looks different. And it's not required at the school anymore, this particular plan. We're going with one district-wide plan. So you will still have your school compacts, but you won't have your school-specific involvement plans. You can see the last year's plan that we're going to talk about. You can see that on our website. /DAC, where the meeting information is. I also included those links in all the communications or in the recent communications that went out about the DAC meeting. So hopefully you have had an opportunity to look at the plan. The plans are there in both English and Spanish. If you don't have an opportunity to give feedback today, or if you want to take some time and think about it, please email me or call me and I can take the notes of your feedback so that can get incorporated. I'm going to take all of your notes, use it to determine what strategies the district can utilize to meet some of the barriers. You'll see some of the things that we're going to talk about, but I'll use it to shape our district-wide plan and put those strategies in there and then send that on to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So I have 3 big questions for you today at 6:25. One of them is, what are some barriers to greater family involvement and engagement? You can put it in the chat. You can take yourself off mute, but what are some of the barriers to more parents, more family members, more caregivers really getting involved in their school decisions and in district decisions and district business? So I'm not going to look at the chat. I'm just going to assume it's not a question, it's a comment that's in there about this. I will also say that there some of the previous barriers from that 2019 plan were that there were no standard parent organization formats. So we have parent-teacher associations, we have PTAs, we have SACs, school advisory committees, we have Lighthouse, we have a lot of different types of parent leadership organizations. But all the meeting structures are different and their level of support is different. So our families before identified that as a barrier to involvement. If you agree with that, let me know. If you don't, let me know. Another barrier was limited meeting time. So times too early in the morning or too late in the evening or on the wrong days that prevented more access and availability of our families. And the third barrier was that there is perceived insufficient access to language assistance and support, especially at the school level in more than 4 languages. So our families are maybe not aware, or our school staff are maybe not aware of the amount of language support resources and programs that we offer, and that was seen as a barrier. So does anybody want to come off mute and say anything about any of these barriers? Not any of the ones I've talked about, but are there some additional barriers we need to think of a strategy to address? Okay, I see some from Kelly. I see some from Leslie. Thank you. Please just put them in the chat. Another question, how can we better support families with learning of your students? How can we, which includes engaging with school personnel and teacher, that should be teachers. I made that mistake, sorry, on that slide. I will get it corrected before I upload it tomorrow. But how can the district better support families with helping you support your students' learning? If you don't come off mute, I'll just share some other, some feedback we've received previously. Was anybody coming off mute? Okay, I'll talk to myself. That is okay. So one thing was a welcoming and responsive environment in the school buildings and at the district office for all families, district support, and maybe more district push of family engagement opportunities, ways to support students' learning network, and being a part of school level decisions. So I think what the feedback is for there be a bigger push from the district about how important it is for families to be involved in school level decisions and have those opportunities. Another one was increased access to information to assist parents in navigating the district so that they can advocate on behalf of their students. District responsiveness to parent concerns, and making sure that complaints are resolved and concerns are resolved. Opportunities for parents to acquire necessary information, knowledge, and skills to build their own leadership capacity and advocacy. More accountability for staff at all levels in working with parents as partners, and setting high expectations for customer service. And so all of these things that I'm going through pretty quickly, you will see when you look at the plan. So the plan, it'll have what those barriers are, what that feedback was previously. So everything that I'm saying to you now, plus the strategies that the district we identified to address some of those barriers and those needs and those challenges. So you'll be able to see all of that. So feel free to take your time and look at it and give it some thought and let me know what we can do to better support you. And the third question is, how can we foster more successful school and family interactions and partnerships? So again, a few of those items that we identified in 2019 or for the 2019-2020 school year were supporting families and their concerns and exploring ways to better support their children's education, helping them navigate district systems, programs, resources, organizing and facilitating parent workshops, helping schools form or strengthen their parent organizations, making information about district programs, services, processes, resources, making those more readily available and accessible across multiple platforms, and making sure that we bring together different stakeholder groups regularly, not just to share information, but to collaborate, to get feedback, to participate in discussions, and participate in meetings, and ensuring that schools, family members, and community members are aware of all of the programs of support within the district. So thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Susan, but please keep putting things in the chat. I will put my email address in the chat. It's cadams1, but I will put it in the chat. Please email me your feedback in the next week. I will work on those strategies to address kind of what any changes, updates need to be to the plan. And then we will go ahead and send the plan to DESE, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. And we will work from that plan. But at any time, if aspects of the plan and strategies aren't working, please reach out to me. I will do what I can to work with the district, work with your schools on having better, more effective family engagement. So you are out there. We are here to serve and support you. You're in your schools every day. You're with your children every day. You have to let us know and let me know what's going on, and I will do my best to support you. Now I'm going to turn it over, thank you, to Ms. Susan Stocking with a DAC update and to get your feedback on future planning.
Thank you, Courtney. And you can go ahead and roll on to the next slide. I already put your name and email in the chat. I had it loaded up, so thank you. I'm going to actually get to the inside. We are wanting to have your feedback also on programming for DAC for next year. You can go back. I'm going to ask you to put this in the chat, but when we're looking forward, it's also important to look back at what we have covered this year, even in this crazy year, when we look back to the notes, which you can see there in the chat. Our notes, our videos are there on the page, so you can refer to the link that I placed there in the chat. But just in this year alone, the District Advisory Committee has partnered with organizations like the Urban League of Greater Kansas City, KC Watch, which is a coalition including More Squared, NAACP, community groups, AFT. We hosted a school board candidate forum with the League of Women Voters, and again, More Squared. You'll see that name a lot. They really step up for social justice and equity issues. We've showcased our own Justice in the Schools program, the Missouri PTA, Scholastic, and programs offered through a parent university. You can go to the next one. We have covered a wide array of meeting topics, creating trauma-informed schools. That was the ACEs scores, working with Dr. Woodley, working on our own system to better our own interactions with students and create trauma-informed schools and communities, hopefully. We learned about many real-world learning opportunities. I lit up tonight when I saw Crystal. She was just beaming. That was awesome. We had presentations from board members, including the 2021 KCPS legislative agenda. We heard from administration about KCPS calendar options. We also heard from another board member about the KCPS budget process, and we got updates from Dr. Berdell about return to in-person learning for students. So just a lot of information that's been packed into these general meetings. You want to go ahead into the next one. So yeah, thank you. Building relationships, and thank you very much for that. And then I also wanted to recognize what not only the DAC board, but DAC members have been involved in throughout this year. We've been involved, and this isn't just DAC, it's administration, it's the board member, it's a collaboration, and community members. We have worked on the code of conduct equity revision. We heard from Mr. Washington and did some exercises about bias that has been written into our code of conduct for far too long. We have served on the board government relations committee. We have also been with the board communications committee. We are engaged in Blueprint 2030. I know several members of us have done IT testing as needed for the enrollment system. That was pretty cool. I loved the simplification of that. We're also involved in the KCPS enrollment committee, and we've also, we regularly deliver reports to the Board of Education. So these are the things that we have even, in this last year, all have pulled together to work on. So I put Courtney's information in the chat. Immediately following this, we're going to just have delegates from each school go into the election for the next board. And so if you have topics that you're interested in, or if you're interested in looking to serve in any of these committees, please contact Courtney Adams. Her email is in the chat. If you ever want more information about these meetings, and we could not do this without Courtney Adams, Camila Alvarez. We have excellent partners with the KCPS administration. Kelly Wachel pops in on us, and I know she has her hand in stuff too. So if you are interested in becoming involved in different ways, if you have a subject matter that is near and dear to your heart, we want to hear about it and use it to possibly develop programming next year. We are interested in increasing the voice for our KCPS community. Parents and students are the ones that are closest to the issues, so they're going to be the closest to the solutions. So I thank you again for engaging with the District Advisory Committee. It's been an honor to serve with the District Advisory Committee and on the Executive Board, and I'm very excited about the direction of the school district. And so we are looking forward to getting your feedback on programming that you would like to have developed for the 21-22 school year. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I see the comments and suggestions in the chat. We appreciate that. Please, again, can we say it enough? Email us, email me. We want to be able to incorporate your feedback. We want to make sure that we're responsive. This organization represents you and KCPS as a whole, all of the school communities. So I'm sure if there's something you're thinking, you're not the only one. So you are the one that's here, and we want to hear from you. With that, we will go ahead and adjourn this meeting for everyone except the school's official DAC delegates. So thank you all. Enjoy your nights. DAC delegates, please stay on, and we'll get to the election, and it shouldn't take us longer than 10 minutes. So thank you all. And Brian, you can stop the live stream.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. And so for the